All right, the final thing I want to talk about is reflection. This is so critically important because without reflection, you might not be able to connect the dots to see if the process that you're following is actually taking you closer to your goal or further away from your goal. One of the things that I've learned as an Ironman triathlete, actually I've learned three things as an Ironman triathlete that I'd like to share with you at this point. One is that anything is possible in life. Two is that you have to continuously be learning to be improving. And three, you need to learn how to manage your expectations in life. You manage your expectations by reflection. You become a learner, you find a recipe that's going to work for you, and if the recipe is broken and doesn't work, you need to change it. The best thing I can advise you right now to do is to be consistent. I'd like you to try to be consistent for a month. If you can consistently record sections of your journal for a month, do the reflection at the end. Be honest with yourself. If you can do those things and reboot and kick it off the second month and try to be 1% better at something. Maybe it's 1% better at achieving my to-do lists. Maybe it's 1% better at getting my streak going for my personal workout habits. Maybe it's being 1% better at any one of the journal entries that you're struggling with. I mean, I can't tell you where you're going to have challenges. What I can tell you is that if you sit down and spend the time in the beginning, it might seem like a lot of work because you haven't done this before. But once you've done it, the pieces start to fall into place and those journal entries become so much easier. I know when I first started doing random acts of kindness, I kind of struggled with, what am I going to send this person as an email, But when I created my list of potential people, I found myself as I was on my social media constantly looking at what they were doing. And I would go, oh, wow, that person's there. Oh, wow, that person's doing that. Hey, congratulations. Hey, you force yourself to start looking. Remember the Tetris Effect. If we go through life with a negative attitude, we start to see only negative things. We train our brain to see negative things. But when we go through life with a positive attitude and we have a recipe that we're following, you start to train your brain to see opportunity. And the opportunity creates positive momentum. And that positive momentum starts to fill out. And if you start to take it one day at a time, remember, today I win. I will finish what I started. I will reach my goal. It's changing your mindset from saying, I'm going to climb the mountain to, I'm going to take another step forward. In the Ironman community, people always ask me, what do you need to do to reach an Ironman? Well, two things have to happen. One, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you're capable of more than you ever thought you would be able to be. And you need to learn how to take another step forward. You get to the Ironman finish line one step at a time. And it takes years of training to get to that ultimate destination. And when you get there, it might not be what you expected. Again, you've got to learn to manage your expectations. But here's a point of reflection. I'll share one quick Ironman story with you to wrap things up. When I was doing my second Ironman, I was training to get to the World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. And I had no idea who was going to show up on race day because as an amateur racer, I have no idea who around the world is coming to the race. I have no idea how fast they are. But I had looked at the history of the race time for 3 years and I thought, okay, over the last 3 years, I'm going to have to post a time of 10 and a half hours if I want to get to that finish line and potentially win a ticket, win a slot to go to Hawaii. So as I was doing my training, I thought to myself, well, I can't do that. I can't give up more time. I'm already training 600 hours a year. I can't give them more training time. I thought to myself, well, rather than say I can't do this, I said, how can I get faster? How can I make improvements? Well, I looked at my swimming, and I wasn't a very good swimmer, but I didn't spend a lot of time in the water. So combined with the fact that, hey, I'm not a very strong swimmer, relatively speaking, I'm not going to make a lot of gains there, but I can get stronger in my legs and become a stronger cyclist. I can get stronger in my legs and become a more efficient runner. And I focused on the biking and the running. And lo and behold, when I came to the race, I had trained myself through changing my recipe for training to be more conditioned to actually post a time of 10 and a half hours. But as I was going through my training and as I was going through race day, I had prepared myself in the eventuality that I would experience something that I had read about in Joe Friel's book, but I really didn't understand. It was something called severe muscle cramping. And as I was going through my race on race day, I posted the swim time I thought I would post. I posted the 5.5 hour bike ride that I thought I would post. And now I was pushing the run and I was on target for 10.5 hours. And about 10 kilometers out from the finish line, all of a sudden, my hamstring just went sideways. It tightened up in a big, huge ball. And then as I lifted my foot up, my calf went and then my foot started cramping. What I was experiencing was something that I had read about called severe muscle cramping through sodium depletion. I had just sweated all the sodium out of my body, but I was prepared because I had a growth mindset and I had a lifelong learning mindset and I was trying to be prepared. So I brought sodium tablets with me. And when that happened, it happened in between aid stations. Now, if I wasn't prepared, if I hadn't done my homework, if I hadn't done my research, my day would have been over. I would have been disqualified from the race because by the time I would have got to an aid station, I would have needed to get more fluids into me, more sodium into me, and the odds are you don't finish the race at that point. But because I had brought salt tablets with me and I had a reserve of Coke and water with me, I was able to take that, and within 10 minutes I went from walking to back to jogging to back to my pace, and I ended up coming in at not 10.5 hours but 11 hours and 27 minutes. And I was super proud of myself for two reasons. One, because I was prepared, but two, because as I was going through that process of training, I allowed myself to be flexible enough to learn and not be rigid. And in doing that, I gave myself the opportunity to finish that race. Now, when I posted a time of 11 hours and 27 minutes, the irony is that there were a group of German competitors who also arrived on race day who were posting times of 9 hours. So even if I had posted my time of 10.5 hours, I still wouldn't have qualified that year to go to Kona. So you cannot be disappointed in that outcome. Even if I had posted 10.5 hours, I couldn't allow myself to be disappointed because you never know what life is going to hand to you. So I learned from my third Ironman to manage your expectations because you never know what's coming around the corner. The biggest thing that I was looking for in all of this, folks, was happiness. And remember, happiness can be found as the joy you feel while striving for your full potential every day. What I learned from day one, I threw my scale away and I said, I'm going to start investing in my diet and my exercise every day. That process has now taken me beyond 12 years. I've met some of the most amazing people from around the world who are like-minded, who share similar experiences to me. And what I've been able to do is put all that together in this journal to help you. Because I know that the only way that I can create that visionary world where every parent has the ability to talk to their kids intelligently and in an informed way about diet, exercise, growth mindsets, and mental health is if we all start developing a growth mindset, if we all start becoming continuous lifelong learners, if we all start to learn a process that's going to take us from where we are today to where we want to be. Congratulations on making it through the journaling course. I wish you nothing but absolute success with your journaling process. Please reach out to me on social media, leave a post, a comment. Let me know how you're making out. Let me know if you need further explanation. I am more than happy to do whatever it takes to keep us all moving forward one day at a time. Today I win, and I hope you win too. Great luck on your journey.